Happy midnight, everyone. The sun's reclining, the moon is shining, your boy is styling, and I hope all of you are smiling. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to build this amazing Enderman farm that's right here behind me. This was far and away one of the most requested things for my TikTok that I do a tutorial for, so I'm very excited to get into it. We'll do just like I did the Guardian farm. So first I'll show you guys how to build the fundamental farm, all the technical bits, and then we'll come back here and I will show you guys how I chose to design it and decorate it. Unfortunately, I built this before I had OBS, so I don't have any footage of me building this in survival, and the tutorial is therefore going to be in creative mode. Hopefully you guys don't mind that, but either way, let's get into it. So the general premise of the farm is that it's built far enough from the main end island that we're not loading any of those spawning areas over there, we're only loading ones over here. This forces the entire mob cap of Endermen to spawn on this single platform, which is a lot of Endermen as you can see. And then this guy is an Endermite in a minecart, and he's drawing their attention. They don't like him, so they're going to try and come towards the middle and kill him, and that's when they fall into our drop chute and take sufficient damage to become one shot. So that's exactly what's going on here. I've turned down the sound so that you guys hopefully don't get absolutely obliterated by how loud this farm is. But yeah, that's the abstract of the farm, and now we're going to get to building it. The first thing we need to do is head to the main end island. I've already gone ahead and defeated the Ender Dragon, and we're temporarily in peaceful just so that we don't have Endermen spawning while I'm building. But yeah, the first thing we need to do is build out into the void a minimum of 128 blocks, so that's 2 stacks. Now, as you can see here, if we were to build out from that point, these areas would be jutting out and they could potentially spawn Endermen. So I like to do a little more than 128 blocks just to be generous. Here we have 2.5 stacks of items. I think that's I think that's pretty generous, but I'll go ahead and bridge out and bring you guys back in. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are currently 2.5 stacks of blocks away from the main end island, which I think is 160 blocks. Again, the minimum is 128 blocks, or 2 stacks, but I just do more to make sure that we're plenty far to prevent all the Endermen from spawning over there. Now this bridge is looking a little precarious. If I were in survival, I might be scared to be dashing over this or landing on it with an elytra. So the next thing I'm going to do is just briefly make this one wider going all the way back. So here we have our 2-wide bridge, and I should have mentioned these can be any full block bridging out or even any non-spawnable block like glass, which would honestly make it a little bit easier in some respects. I chose to do slabs because they're very cost effective, but you don't have to do that. You can do any full block for your bridge. However, the important next thing that we're going to do is double carpet layer the entire bridge. This is because Endermen can't spawn on carpets and they can't teleport onto blocks that have 2 carpet layers like this. So as long as our whole bridge is double carpeted, we won't see any Endermen teleporting outside of the farm. Yeah. And now our bridge has been fully double carpeted. This is kind of expensive, so if you're looking to cut down on the cost of the farm, you technically only have to double carpet layer within a 32 block radius of the spawning platform of the Enderman. This is because this is to prevent them from teleporting out of the farm, and Endermen have a teleport radius of 32 blocks. So if you really need to cut down on cost, feel free to only carpet the closest 32 blocks to the outer rim of the spawn platform. So here we are, and now we are ready to begin the actual farm. The first thing I recommend doing is building a little bit of a larger platform that you can kind of walk around, maybe put an enchanting setup on. As you'll see later in my version of this farm, I do put an enchanting setup, some storage for my favorite books, anvils, things of that like. But you're just generally going to want a place to stand while you're killing Endermen. Here I've built us a little small platform. You've got a walkway around, and remember to double carpet layer everywhere where Endermen could teleport. But now we have this space in the middle for where our Endermen are going to fall. So I'm going to have them land on this block right here, and we can stand on some slabs to hit them. So they'll fall down, land right here, and we'll hit them. This means that this kind of 4x4 area is going to be our drop chute, and we can start constructing that up. Once it reaches a certain height, like maybe here, I do recommend building a ceiling above your platform before continuing, but this isn't technically necessary, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, so now our platform has a roof on it, and remember, always, always, always double carpet wherever Endermen could teleport to, because you don't want them teleporting out of their killing chamber. Now, we need to go 43 blocks up because that is the distance Endermen need to fall to become one shot. So we're going to record the middle coordinate of where we are right now. So that's 55. This is our Y level. And we need to go 43 up from that. So for me, it's going to be 98. If you're building this farm in different places, that's totally okay. But for me, I'm going to go up to Y equals 98 so I can get high enough for this. And so we're going to extend our drop chute all the way up to Y equals 98. So this is Y equals 98, and this is where we're going to be building our spawning platform, but for now we can just fill in the drop chute all the way up to here. It can be made out of any blocks. I like to do a little bit of glass so that you can see the Enderman falling. I think that's really cool. But yeah, I'll fill out the drop chute now. And here's our drop chute, all filled in, looking nice and pretty. The next thing is to go ahead and place trapdoors on the inside of the drop chute. This is going to trick the Enderman into thinking there's a block here, but really there's not, and so they're going to fall to their deaths, which is lovely. We like that. So yeah, next thing is to build the spawning platform. So from each of these sides, from here and here and over there and there, we're going to build out 14 blocks. That's going to be counting this one right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, and you're going to do that on all sides, which I will do now. At this point, this is what we're looking at for the beginning of our starting platform, and we're going to do a circle platform to connect all of these. Circles can be a bit hard in Minecraft, I get that. I'll walk you through how to build this one, but if you need help, feel free to go online and go to Google and search up stuff like Minecraft Circle Generator. The radius for the one we're going to be using is 30, and there's tons of websites out there that can help you with a template. But yeah, no worries, we're going to walk through it either way. So you go to the edge of each of these, and you're going to place 3 out. 1, 2, 3 on both sides. 1, 2, 3 on all of these platforms. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Next, on each of these, we're going to come in 1 and then over 3 more. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to do that on this side as well. So in 1 and over 1, 2, 3. And again, repeat that for each of the 4 legs. Next, we just go in 1 and over 1. So again, in 1, over 1. Repeat for all 4 legs. And then in 1, over 2. In 1, over 2. 1, 2. And repeat. And finally, we can connect these bits by going in, over, and then in again. You know, kind of. We only really need this one, but we're going to place these 2 symmetrical ones. I'll show you guys one more time, then I'll do the other 2. So that's going to be in from both sides, and then over just 1. And there we have the skeleton of our spawning platform. Again, a circle of radius 30 blocks. And next we're just going to go ahead and fill it in. I recommend taking a few torches or something and lighting it up because Enderman can spawn on this right now. So if I'm over at, this end of the platform, Enderman might spawn over there and vice versa. So I kind of recommend lighting up as you go, but it's not really necessary. So yeah, I'm just going to fill this in and bring you guys back. Alright, beautiful. The last thing that we need for the spawning platform is to actually go ahead and add a layer of glass running all along the outside. I recommend making this between 3 to 5 blocks thick. And there's our glass layer. And the reason we make this glass layer right here is because glass is a non-spawnable block, but it is still a block. So basically, Minecraft is going to try and check if it can spawn Enderman here. It's going to go, can I spawn some Enderman here? And it's going to go, wait, no, we can't. That's glass. But we can move those spawns onto our platform. So basically, all this glass is doing is kind of reaching out a few more blocks, grabbing a few more spawns, and pulling them in to the bounds of our spawning platform. So that's why we do the glass. It just gives us a few more spawns, but still in the same restricted area. So we're going to build up 5 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I like to use 2 glass panes. This is because glass panes don't really obstruct Enderman sightlines like other blocks do. So the Enderman will be able to see the Endermite from this whole platform. Anyway, this is where we're going to be balancing our minecart with a Endermite in it, but for now we need to actually get an Endermite, and the process for this can be kind of tricky. The way I like to do it is set up a temporary little box up here that we're going to be working in for just a little bit. So let me get that set up. So here we have our cobblestone box. This is just a temporary thing while we're getting the Endermite, and I'm going to put 4 rails. They'll create a circle, and that's directly over where we eventually want to drop the minecart. In order to get an Endermite to spawn, we're going to throw some Ender Pearls at this wall over here, and an Endermite has a 5% chance to spawn from a player-thrown pearl. So we're just going to keep throwing pearls at this wall, and eventually an Endermite will spawn, and it always spawns from the place it was thrown, which, if you're standing right here, will be right here, and that makes it a little bit easier to quickly get it in a minecart once you realize one has spawned. Now, for this step, there's a few things I highly recommend. Number 1, have a name tag on your hotbar and be prepared to name tag the Endermite. Endermites will despawn after 2 minutes, regardless of how close the player is, if they're not name tagged. So you will need to name tag your Endermite, and I recommend you do it very quickly so that nothing happens to it. The second thing I recommend doing is taking off all your armor that has thorns on it, because thorns will kill an Endermite pretty quickly. So since we want one alive, we really don't want to be wearing any thorns while we're doing this. But yeah, those are my 2 tricks for this, and yeah, now we'll go ahead and try and spawn an Endermite. There we go, we got one. Alright, so I'm going to quickly name him. I'm going to get this minecart spinning, and he should come over here. Come on, Jeffrey. Yay! Okay, so now we have Jeffrey in a minecart, and I'll show you guys what we do after that. So in order to align them correctly, what I recommend doing is punching out 2 of these 4 rails. Let's see if I can get that one. I had to take us off peaceful mode so you can see we're getting some spawns already. But yeah, I'm going to push him back onto these rails, and then... Oh, come on, Jeffrey. Alright. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. Alright. And you're going to place 2 glass panes here, and then push the minecart into the glass panes. So this will align it pretty nicely for when it falls onto the glass panes below. The next step is going to be to just destroy this whole cobblestone box that we created. So we're going to do 1, 2, and then there we go. Jeffrey is now on top of those panes, and you can see the Endermen are trying to get him, and they're falling right down our chute, which is exactly what we wanted. So here we are in survival. I've gone ahead and removed all of my experience so we can see just how fast this farm is. Whack! And look at that, our levels are shooting up. Yeah, let's take a look at the spawning, what's going on up here. So yeah, we're getting all these Enderman spawns. They're getting attracted by our Endermite, Jeffrey. Thank you so much for your service, Jeffrey. And so they're coming to the middle, they're falling down these trapdoors, taking just enough damage to become 1 hit, and that's where us, the player, is able to kill them. You can notice my inventory fills up pretty quickly with pearls, and I'll show you guys in a brief moment how to do a quick collection system. Now, some of you may want to collect the pearls from this. I'm not one of those people, but you might be. I'm just going to show you guys how to quickly set it up to collect the pearls. You can come over here and punch out these 2 blocks and replace them with barrels, and do the same on this side as well. And then, hold on 1 second. Alright, I just briefly put us in peaceful so that we could build this without the Enderman in here. So yeah, there are our barrels, and we can punch these out and simply put hoppers directed into those barrels and hoppers directed into these barrels instead. This is a very, very basic system, and these are going to fill up rather quickly, but to be honest, how many pearls do you need? So yeah, I'll turn us back into hard mode, and we can watch the system collect the pearls. Alright, here the Endermen come. Maybe? Alright, so by going into peaceful there, I accidentally killed Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I'm so sorry, my lad. Let me quickly just spawn a new Jeffrey and get this farm working again. Alright, here we go. Not Jeffrey. Alright, so not Jeffrey is now in place, and we can watch this farm work. Alright, and as you can see there, the ender pearls just get immediately deposited into the hoppers and then into the barrels. So yeah, that's how you can add a quick collection system. So guys, if that is all you wanted to watch this video for, was the rudimentary farm, that is going to be the end of the video for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. For those of you who want to stick around and see how I designed this in my survival world, I would welcome it. And yeah, we will jump into how I did that on my survival world. Alright guys, here we are on my survival world. Now this is, for the most part, the exact same farm. I've just gone ahead and decorated it. So you can see my runway is out here. I've added some ribbing, a little chamber at the bottom, some walls on the top. This is all purely cosmetic, purely decorative. This is just how I like it. As you can see, I opt to not have a collection system just because I don't use pearls that much. But in the back we have a full enchanting setup. Over here we have kind of an anvil and a grindstone for doing some more advanced combinations, a few ender chests, and then over here I just have some shulker boxes that are full of my favorite enchanted books. And yeah, I do keep some of the ender pearls, but not a lot. So yeah, let's take a look at some differences between what I just showed you and my survival farm. As you can see, I built my bridge on an odd axis. This bridge here is 3 wide as opposed to 2, technically 5 if you count the walls. This offered a bit of a challenge for me when I was building because the drop chute is still only a 2x2, so you end up with a odd walkway but an even drop chute, and so to account for this I added this ribbing on the outside, so that adds 1 block in dimension on this side and this side to make it technically a 5x5, visually speaking, but in function it's a 4x4, and I was really proud of that because, you know, it helps me keep the aesthetics of the farm while also keeping it with the original function. And then because I'm working on an even drop chute but an odd walkway, this single block, like right here where this one trapdoor is, this trapdoor, this is also the center, which means I have an odd based circle with that as the center. So if you actually look a little bit, the drop chute is a little bit up and to the left, which might bug some of you. I wasn't too bothered by it. I would rather have the odd based bridge. But yeah, I'll do a quick fly around so you can see how I designed the farm, and hopefully this inspires you guys to design your farm similarly in your survival world. Alright everyone, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me on this tutorial on how to build an Enderman farm. I really hope you enjoyed. If you do, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, but no worries if not. And yeah, shine on, little stars. Shine on.